A federal judge is hearing arguments this week over whether the National Guard was legally deployed to L.A. by the Trump administration this summer to quell anti-ICE protests. Now, most of the troops have left, but about 250 National Guard members remain, according to the Pentagon's latest figures.
We're joined by CalMatters reporter Mikhail Zinshteyn to break down this case. Thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
You know, I guess watching this and then seeing what's happening in Washington, D.C. now, do you see a correlation here? Could there be any repercussions happening there as well?
Oh, it's hard to say. I mean, I think D.C. isn't my area of expertise, but D.C. is technically a federal city, so I think it has slightly different rules governing it. The trial in California in the San Francisco federal court is only concerned with what was happening in the Los Angeles area. Of course, it has implications for the rest of the country, but it is a test case in determining to what extent the military can assist law enforcement, federal law enforcement in civilian matters, excuse me.
Sure. And so focusing on California, historically here, have we seen that before, the military acting as police?
Have we seen it before? We have, but like, for example, during the 1992 Rodney King uprisings, riots, yeah. The question before the court right now, though, is determining to what extent, can the military act as law enforcement, and then how do you define it, right? And the two sides in court, Trump's Department of Justice and California's Attorney General, they just disagree on everything. Even when they recognize that something happened, they disagree with the interpretation. Right. So, for example, having Marines and the National Guard create a kind of a perimeter behind what drug enforcement officers or immigration law enforcement officers are doing, like a line of a perimeter line. Does that count as law enforcement? Does that impede traffic? Does that impede the flow of pedestrians? And so those are the questions that were raised yesterday, and those are the questions that are throughout the dozens of legal documents that have emerged for this trial.
Well, I also want to talk about the Los Angeles field office director for DHS actually did testify yesterday, and he said some things that people are pointing to going, huh?
Yeah, I mean, there were some things that made me go, huh? For example, he disputed that there were raids. He said that he doesn't consider what immigration law enforcement does as raids. It's at-large activity. There was another interesting revelation that I think your audience can remember the MacArthur Park incident on July 7th. Initially, that was that led to some kind of confrontation before it was finally approved, where a commander within Border Patrol called a major general disloyal to the country because that major general did not want to go through with it. That we heard during testimony. So there were a few surprising moments throughout that 6-hour trial.
All right. Well, we'll continue to watch how this unfolds. Michael, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Sure. Thank you.